Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Max Velocity weather forecast. And in today's forecast, we'll be breaking down a growing storm that's about to bring a lot of problems to the East Coast, including the threat of tornadoes, damaging wind gusts, heavy rainfall that'll lead to flooding, and even some snowfall. I'll be giving you the latest breakdown on everything that you need to know in this forecast, and let's begin with what's happening right now in the United States. And we'll begin with the infrared imagery, and this is actually from last night, but it gives you an idea of the scale of the storm that we've been dealing with over the last 24 hours. And again, the low pressure system as of yesterday was centered back over in the Midwest. Now this area of moisture is moving into the Northeast. On the other hand, we have our other area of moisture that's down near Florida in the Southeast that's moving toward New England. So these two areas of moisture are basically going to merge as we head into tonight and tomorrow, and that is going to lead to a lot of problems, including again very heavy rainfall, high winds, and as well as a few tornadoes on the immediate East Coast stretching from Florida back into the Carolinas and Virginia. So again, this has been a messy storm so far. Lots of high winds, lots of heavy rain down in Florida as of last night. And then as we go throughout the day today, those problems are only going to be growing across much of the East Coast. Now, I do want to point out what this system is doing right now on the jet stream. And this gives us an idea of the weather patterns that we're seeing across the United States. And again, notice this is right now. We have a low pressure center that is currently located back over in the Great Lakes region. So over Michigan right now. Our other area is still back down near Florida. It's a little bit north of Florida now, moving into South Carolina. And why is this important? Well, again, as I mentioned a moment ago, we basically have these two systems that are going to be merging in the Northeast. This is your first area of moisture and energy that is currently ongoing. A lot of a much colder air mass overall. On the second hand, we also have this system down here, which is also a cold air mass. It's not tropical, but it is something to watch for because these, again, will be both merging and growing into one of the largest storms that we've actually seen all year long. This will be a very large storm in terms of its size and obviously its impacts to the Northeast. So as we go into tonight, the system will continue to move to the north and east. And again, notice as we go into early tomorrow morning, these two systems basically merge together in the Northeast, and this will start to basically create a massive effect of wind and heavy rain and even some snow in some areas, and that is going to really multiply the amount of intensity that this storm will have. And then as we go through Wednesday to Thursday, this all moves out. Then we will be dealing with a completely different weather pattern with a ridge dominating much of the United States, going into the Midwest, back into the Southeast. A lot of areas will be dry by mid next week, but that will not last forever. As we get closer to Christmas, we will have to watch this disturbance that is likely to stay off the California coast as we go through much of next week, but it will likely move toward the Great Plains as we get closer to Christmas. And you'll see that a little bit better here as we get closer to Saturday and to Sunday. And again, this is just before Christmas Day, and we very easily could get a larger storm to start to grow across the Great Plains. And now, as of right now, this does not seem to be a severe weather outbreak sort of instance, but it will likely at least disturb some of your outdoor plans and with heavy rainfall, colder weather, and that sort of thing. And I'll break that down in more detail for you in the next forecast once we talk a bit more about a potential for a white Christmas in some of the United States. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Here's another look at this storm, by the way, on the 500 millibar chart. And again, notice this is your main area of energy. And then we have another area of energy that's back over in the Great Lakes region. Again, these will both merge as we go into tomorrow. So again, it's going to grow in size. That's basically what this means. It's just a better representation of how intense this system currently is. All right, let's go through the future radar, give you an idea of what's happening here over the next 48 hours with this particular storm and what is ahead as well. And then we'll break down the severe weather threat across parts of the East Coast and as well as the big cool down that some areas will see. So again, this is what the storm looks like right now. A lot of rainfall on the East Coast across areas like South Carolina and North Carolina. That's been a given here for a little while now. As this moves off to the north and east throughout the day, we will see a chance for an isolated tornado or two on the immediate coastline of South and North Carolina. Otherwise, damaging winds being the main concern. How do we know that? Well, the isobars are pretty close together here. That's going to represent the potential for higher wind speeds, and that's obviously something that you want to be mindful of because there could be some power outages. Now, as we go into Monday, things change a little bit because these storms will merge. All that energy will merge together. And again, notice how large this area is of precipitation and as well as strong wind gusts. All these isobars very close together, even across the Great Lakes, with a lot of cold air advection as well. And that cold air advection will lead to some snow potential across parts of the Ohio Valley. And I'll show you the snowfall total potential in a moment as well for this. As we go into late Monday into Tuesday, that snow still trickles around the New York area and as well as back into Pennsylvania. Ohio might still see a little bit of snow going to Tuesday morning. By Wednesday, most of that activity is shifting out. And by the way, the New England region, not really expecting any snow there at all out of this event. There will just be a lot of warm air advection with this system. Once we go to Thursday to Friday, Friday, high pressure dominates the East Coast. Notice we'll be watching for a disturbance as we get closer to Thursday into Friday across the central and southern plains. It'll bring some rainfall, not really any severe weather out of that. By the time we get to Christmas Eve, we'll be watching for some more active weather across some of the central and southern plains, and maybe even some snow across parts of the northern plains as we head into Christmas Day. That might lead to a white Christmas in some areas, and I'll talk about again that more in our next forecast, so make sure you're subscribed. And then as we get past Christmas, things definitely become a lot more uncertain. Now, in terms of the snowfall totals, beginning with the Midwest, again, we're not looking at anything crazy out of this. There will be some lake effect snow right in southwest Michigan, maybe northern Indiana. That could lead to a coating to 2 inches, but elsewhere, it's going to be very minimal. I don't even know if Chicago will really see anything out of this. If you do, it's going to melt pretty quickly if it even sticks. So again, that'll be what we're looking at there. Back over in the Northeast, a bit more snowfall right along the Lake Erie area. This will be lake effect snow right across Northeast Ohio, back into west parts of New York. We actually could see upwards of 4 to 8 inches of snow in this stretch. So again, near Lake Erie, going back closer to Cleveland, Ohio. Elsewhere, again, very minimal snowfall totals coming out of this event. The other thing that we need to watch for is the high winds that are going to come out of this. This is going into this afternoon. We could get some wind gusts near 80 miles per hour right along the North Carolina coastline. This will definitely cause some power outages, so you definitely want to make sure you have flashlights on hand throughout the day today. Once we go into tomorrow morning, it's going to really ramp up as well, and even overnight tonight into parts of New Jersey, Delaware. We could see wind gusts on the immediate coastline between 60 to 75 miles per hour. Even into parts of Cape Cod, it's entirely possible that we get near 70 miles per hour on the wind gusts. That would probably be the peak going. Again, if you notice, there might be like an 80 mile per hour reading in here. A lot of that will probably be like the peak. It's not going to happen the entire time, but that obviously that peak could lead to some power outages. Notice back up here in the Great Lakes, by the way, we also will see some high wind speeds even back in Michigan as well as Indiana. Wind gusts on Monday afternoon upwards of 40 to 50 miles per hour in those areas, and again, that will lead to a little bit of lake effect snow. In terms of rainfall totals, again, the main area is up and down the east coast of the United States. Most of Florida is already finished up with their rainfall, but areas in the Carolinas throughout the rest of this afternoon could peak closer to 4 to 5 inches of rainfall, and I would not rule out an isolated amount near 8 inches even in parts of the east coast. Here's the future radar from Florida back into the Carolinas and Virginia. Again, notice across Florida, the entire system is basically moving out. The only rain that's left is going to be very light overall, maybe an isolated moderate to heavy rain shower in northern Florida during the early afternoon. Now back over in South Carolina and North Carolina, this is an area to watch for severe weather. It's a very low chance, but it's going to be on the immediate coastline within about a county or two of the coastline of South Carolina. Again, we'll be watching for these storms during the afternoon hours. These might produce an isolated tornado or two. Additionally, some damaging winds are possible. I would definitely be watching from Florence back through Charleston into Myrtle Beach for the highest potential of that threat. And then back over into parts of North Carolina, we also have to watch for the threat here. Again, notice as we go into the afternoon today, we'll be watching back near Fayetteville and Jackson and Wilmington for the best tornado potential. Again, an isolated tornado or two are possible. This by no means will be a widespread tornado outbreak, but you definitely want to make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts and have a tornado action plan in place just in case. Here's the temperature trends, by the way, out of the system. Again, overall, the temperatures are still well above average all the way through Monday. Notice as we go into Tuesday and Wednesday, though, once we get that extra batch of energy behind the system, we are going to see actually a pretty strong cold blast across the southeast with many areas 10 to 15, maybe even 20 degrees below average as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And even it might even linger through almost the Christmas Eve weekend. So this will definitely be something to watch for down in Florida. Warmer weather, though, is expected as we get closer to Christmas. And again, we'll talk more details on the potential for a white Christmas in the next forecast. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like button down below and subscribe if you've not already.